Hello everyone, welcome back to another session of English with me, Jijo Matthew. Hope you are all fine and going on well. As usual, we can begin the session with a small warm up activity. And as usual, this time also it's going to be a brain teaser. Take a look. I have certain expectations about you for this particular session. Be attentive throughout the session, think in your own way, and ready to learn. Moving on to the learning objectives for the session, that you will be able to use punctuation mark, one in particular, listing commas to make correct meaning. Before moving on to the session, I would suggest you to grab your pen or pencil, couple of A4 papers, your English notebook and dictionary. If you are not having these materials beside yourself, please pause the video here, grab all these materials and come back as fast as you can. Hope we are all back and ready. Very good. We can move on to the essential question for this particular session. What do commas do in a sentence? Pause the video here, open your English notebook and write down whatever feeling in your mind about the use of commas in a sentence. Take your time, finish up this work and come back. Hope you have done. Some of you got the idea clearly, some are a little bit confused. Don't worry, by the end of this session, you will get more idea for sure. We have been discussing about persuasive text and persuasive language so far. When you are going through a particular text, whether it's a story, a poem, or novel, or a piece of writing, whatever it is, you may have noticed commas in them. And most of the time, we may not be aware what they use, what kind of an effect does a comma have in making the meaning in that particular sentence. In today's session, we will be focusing on the use of punctuation mark, one in particular, listing commas. Always use commas to separate items in a series or a list. Here are some examples. I went to the grocery store to get green beans, cheddar cheese, and garlic. This morning, I went for a walk, read in my book, and ate breakfast. As you can see in here, in the first example, you can see a list of food items, and second one, a list of activities. As you can see in these sentences, commas are used to separate words to provide more clarity and meaning. The use of commas helps the reader to get the exact meaning, providing a little pause on the places where the punctuation mark exists. Why we need commas? Because I like cooking, dogs and kids is not same as I like cooking dogs and kids. The first sentence means I like three things: cooking, dogs and kids. Whereas the second sentence means I like to cook dogs and kids. With the help of comma, meaning differs. Same with let's eat grandma and let's eat grandma. The first sentence means let's eat our grandmother, while the second sentence asks our grandmother to come along to eat. So, comma saves lives. If we are saying about one or two items, no commas needed. If we are saying about three or more items, definitely commas are needed. I need to grab some bacon and eggs from the store. As it's saying about bacon and x, commas are not needed. As you can see, three things are mentioned here. A comma is necessary after every item, as I play basketball, soccer, and football. A comma is needed here as well, as it says about four items. I play basketball, soccer, football, and baseball. Without making much ado, we can move on to activity number 1. Here, we have to go through this particular text and identify listing commas from it. Take your time, finish up this work and come back. Hope you have done. Very good. We can move on to activity number 2. Here, I'm going to give you a list. You have to make them into a sentence using the commas appropriately to make correct sense and meaning. Take your time, finish up this work and come back. Hope you have done. Very good. Now it's a time for us to wind up today's session. We started the session with a small warm-up activity I showed you, which are my expectations about you for this particular session. Then we discussed the learning objectives for the session, that you will be able to use one of the punctuation mark listing commas to make proper meaning. Throughout the session, we were discussing about the use of listing commas, and in the first and second activities, we put them into practical use. Then I gave you a set of instructions that you have to follow throughout the session. Asked you an essential question for the session: what do commas do in a sentence? Now probably you can answer, the purpose of comma is to separate number of items in a sentence, to provide proper meaning, to provide proper sense. In the first activity, we identified the punctuation mark in a text. In the second activity, we used the punctuation mark in a text. Now it's the time for a small assignment. You have to apply the listing comma punctuation mark to make complete meaning. Take your time, finish up your activities and assignment. I'll be meeting you very soon with another video lesson. Till then, stay home, stay safe, take care of yourselves and bye.